I feel like his guitar playing, he's almost creating a soundtrack for the words he's saying. He's like creating cinema with his words, and the guitar is kind of giving feeling to those things in the way a composer would create a soundtrack to a film. Hello everybody, welcome back to another reaction video on Peace Beats with Dan Blackwell. Today I'm checking out another Wren music video. Well, actually it's three music videos, a three-parter called The Tale of Jenny Screech. I've never seen these before and I have no idea what to expect. I really loved Hi Ren and Sick Boy, but they were both totally different entities musically. So I'm intrigued to see, is this going to be more like Hi Ren or more like Sick Boy, or is it going to be something completely different entirely? Let's dive in and find out. I'm going to pause it there and say, firstly, what I always say. I didn't expect that. So the first thing, we're going back with more of a Hi Ren kind of guitar style here, a little bit Spanishy. There's a little bit of a kind of lullaby going on with what he's playing there that I really like. What I really like about Ren's playing is it's a bit messy, and I mean that in a good way, right? There's a sort of messiness to his playing in the way there is guitarists like Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead or Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. They're incredible guitarists, but there's this kind of freeness to them that they are free to just kind of play in a very, it doesn't matter if something's a little late or played a little bit harder than the other strings. You know, it's very different from, say, classical playing, you know, where everything is very measured and very perfect and hit just so, you know what I mean? With his playing, it's a lot more real and kind of gruff, and I really like what he's doing there. And the mouth trumpet is very nice, very playful. So I kind of wasn't expecting that. Maybe this is going to be a little bit lighter than the previous couple of videos. Maybe we're going in a more playful direction. We shall see.
It was a quiet dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before she wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there walked this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech. He was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief. At 14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. As Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared. Usually she was alright, but it was like there was something in the air. A divine intervention telling her to beware, maybe intuition bogging her and making her so scared. Sirens sound in the distance to the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. Our poor girl Jenny, a boy named Screech. Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you cooperate, then you'll soon be free. I want your purse, your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it. Bitch, are you listening to me?
Whoa. Okay, so we're getting some more Jamaican flavours here. There's a little bit of ska going on. I don't know if you've ever heard of the band The King Blues. I don't know if this is the case or not, but it feels like there's a very strong influence from The King Blues on Ren's music. I don't know if he's listened to them or heard their stuff, but the way of storytelling and the kind of like ska punk kind of feel to it, mixed with the spoken word kind of rap style. I feel like his guitar playing, he's almost creating a soundtrack for the words he's saying. He's like creating cinema with his words, and the guitar is kind of giving feeling to those things in the way a composer would create a soundtrack to a film. And that's a very interesting way of looking at composing music as a songwriter. because usually it's kind of like, right, let's get some chords down and write a melody over the top of it and then find the lyrics. That's the standard kind of way of writing a song. But this feels more like it started with words and it's like, okay, how can we create a score for this with guitar? How can we kind of like bring this to life? So he's telling the story of this 14-year-old lad called Screech and this girl called Jenny. And so we have these kind of two parallel stories and they're both kind of meeting now. Everything just took a bit of a dark turn there, so let's crack on and see how this situation resolves.
Your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it, bitch. Are you listening to me? Jenny freezes statue like a lady shakes stalactite. Feel like liquid nitrogen in the dark night. She tried to find strength to move, but stayed as still as a statue in high-heeled shoes. What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, girl? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy code. Screech reached with the sheath of the blade, with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete, and he swung possessed with the devil in his chest, and the statue she was turned to butter in her breath. It was a quiet dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny lay still on the cold concrete. She's found somewhere to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, 'cause she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. I guess that she escaped. It's such a shame.
Okay. Wow. Another artist that I'm getting as a potential influence here is The Police. I don't know if you guys are hearing that, but I'm getting some very strong Sting vibes with some of his vocal melodies and the way he's kind of pushing his voice when he goes high. Again, more kind of Jamaican ska kind of flavors in there. I like that lyric. He said, what was it? She turned from stone to butter, like a statue to butter in a breath. I love that. That's such a strong visual image he's painting there of kind of somebody holding a knife to you or holding you, mugging you or something. You like freeze, go solid, and then turn to butter, everything goes soft. So I've just brought up the lyrics here. And he swung possessed with the devil in his chest. That's an amazing line. And the statue she was turned to, butter in a breath. Ooh. I was kind of expecting some kind of love story between this Jenny and Screech. I wasn't thinking that Screech was going to kill her. Bloody hell. And I feel like the mouth trumpet at the beginning, definitely little red herring there, threw me off on a different direction of what to expect. Okay, so I think that's the conclusion of the first short story here. Let's get into the next one and kind of see where this goes. Wow. For a moment there, we almost got a little bit thunderstruck, you know? Thunder! Wow, what a powerful intro. I'd be really interested to learn more about Ren's journey of kind of learning guitar, what his influences are, where that kind of comes from. I think somebody said in the comments of the last video that he's self-taught, which is kind of evident in a way that like people who are self-taught are very often more kind of unique, have their own ways of like solving a problem on the guitar, you know, of like how to get from one note to the other or how to put chords together. It's kind of more using their own original instinct rather than being told a set, structured way of doing things. And what's really coming through in the way he plays is it's very, you have no idea what's going to come. You've got no idea where it's going to go. There's a very strong connection just kind of between his heart and his playing. You know, it's very like straight from there, without this kind of like, oh no, I'm going to go to an E minor seventh. You know, there's none of that kind of going on in his head here. It doesn't feel like, it's very much like he's written these parts perhaps by kind of feel and like finding around like, oh, what happens if I go here, here, here? Yeah, that works. You know, it has that that freedom to it, which I think is really exciting and fun. Anyway, I'll shut up. Let's carry on.
Our story, it starts right at the end of the life of poor Jenny, clocked out like Big Ben. Dear Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away.
Wow, that little guitar thing he went round there. I don't know where to start. Okay, it's like there's two parts of my brain listening to this at the same time. There's one following the story and following the words and like going down that line. The other side of my brain is like, ooh, what was that? What was that? Doom, doo, doo, diddle, doo, doo. It was something like, and then there's a little doom, doo, doo, doom, doo, 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 doo. That's going to take a minute to figure out. But you could write a whole song around that. That's a really nice little loop that he's just casually slid in there like it's nothing. Really, really nice. So in the story, now we've got Screech. He's like stabbed this woman, Jenny, and he's run away to his friend Patrick's house, knocked on the door, and he's like, I think I've done something terrible. So this Screech guy, out of his mind in some way, you know, what kind of drove him to do that extreme thing? Yeah, I don't know, let's find out more.
No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away. Hey babe, you in? Nah, nothing really, I'm just a bit tired, listen. Can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe. What the fuck do you mean you're busy? You fucking bitch! For fuck's sakes!
Damn.
Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Rich Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest.
Wow. Love how he's used the guitar as the gun there. And he's using his guitar generally very percussively here to give it that impact that this song has. It's so violent and visceral. So he's using his guitar in a very like thuddy, aggressive way to kind of convey that feeling. And I love the camera work there, how he kind of had the guitar pointed like a gun and the camera, like through the perspective of Screech, slowly fell. Really creative ways to like bring you in and tell a story here. I really feel like Ren is flying a flag with sort of creative musical storytelling, and a lot of musicians could take notes here and really kind of let go of like constraints that musicians maybe feel they have on like how a story should be told through song. I think that Ren's really pushing the envelope here. This is such a sad story, and it's such a familiar one, isn't it? And like, it's such a volatile time. Teenagers, like 14, you know, and kids can be so dangerous, man. Like, I think people don't really realize, you know, if you've never kind of experienced that, like how dangerous like a teenager can be, because you're like, oh, it's just a kid. What's a kid gonna do? A kid who's out of his mind, drugged up, mental problems, massive chip on their shoulder, surrounded by a group of mates, be a very, very dangerous thing, and like not to be taken lightly, you know what I mean? Again, I feel like I can't touch too much on the story here because I'm still kind of piecing together what's going on. Let's crack on.
Our story, it ends right at the start. Young Screech and poor Jenny lying 1 street apart. An officer shaken by the boy that he claimed. 2 bodies lay lifeless, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame.
I really like the length of these as well. You know, they're kind of bite-sized little stories. Violet's Tale, okay. Oh. Oh wow, quite medieval now. Okay, so I am really loving the guitar playing in these 3 songs. This guitar technique he's using right now is called tapping. You mostly see this in metal music, though you do see it in acoustic music as well, the way he is, more in like kind of Spanish music, or maybe in more, if you check out artists like John Butler or Xavier Rudd, they do a lot of tapping on acoustic guitars, a lot of like 12 strings and that kind of thing. It's become a lot more popular over the last kind of 10, 15 years or so. on acoustic guitars. Newton Faulkner was a big one for bringing that in onto the scene when he did a cover of Massive Attack's Teardrop. A lot of the tapping that we're also seeing Ren do here became popular around that time, at the early kind of 2000 and I want to say 8, 9. That sort of using the bum 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 and then the percussive mixed with the tapping style. So Ren's kind of taken influence from that kind of thing and is using it here to create beautiful, beautiful music. So in the first one, we lost Jenny. In the second one, we've lost Screech. Now we have Violet's tale. So I'm intrigued to see who is Violet. This is the tale of Jenny and Screech. Who's the new character coming in? Let's find out. Sorry to pause again so quickly. I love that little run he did. It was a very chromatic little run that made it really haunting. So a chromatic is when you, let's say we have a normal scale like this. If we have a normal scale like this, like I'll do an A minor pentatonic, it's like. But a chromatic is when you play all the notes in between, really. Like that. He kind of did this little, which was really unexpected because he was kind of playing around the scale and then went, and it creates this really haunting kind of feel to it. And yeah, I love the falsetto he's doing again, reminiscent of high Ren. It's good to see this technique being brought in because I think it's something very signature to Ren as a vocal style. He has a very distinctive falsetto sound. So it's really cool to hear him bringing that in again. And again, using these really unusual melodies. Let's see where this goes.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beats and bloodstains, she saw a lady weep, she's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale.
Again, chromatic.
Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent starts. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. I'll spare you of the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew. Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet she fell fast. See, Stevie was a wrong un, but he sure knew how to charm her. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. History repeats itself, he'd paint her black and blue and dark. She never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance. Violet, why are you always so quiet? On her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, Why you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood's black bone, crack, knick, knack, paddywhack, one to the jaw when the tooth spat, detached, fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I want to do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet.
We've just jumped into the same key as high Ren, haven't we? Give me a sec. So musically, again, more with the percussive guitar, storytelling, incredible. But as always with Ren songs, I always start out kind of breaking down, oh, he's using a chromatic scale, and then end up being like, oh God. I kind of don't want to talk about music anymore. You know what I mean? In a way, it's like, it's the subjects he's covering. What's really sad about this is it's such a common story, isn't it? And that line, she never stood a chance, the devil comes to dance. There's so much in that, you know, like just poetically, obviously it's beautiful, but the depth to that she's a girl who was just abused from the start, never had a chance at life, and it gives room for the devil, whatever that may be, to kind of plant itself in her life. You know what I mean? Where if she doesn't stand a chance, the devil comes to dance, the devil's there to stay. And what that means is that when she does get away from her abusive parents, you know she's going straight into another abusive relationship, isn't she? You know, because the devil's already there. The devil's holding her hand and guiding her for the future because he's been established in her life from childhood. And she only knows to follow the devil to more abuse, right? That's just how I'm taking that. I feel out of the 3 videos, this one has really, really grabbed me. Like the other 2, tremendous. This one, like there was a point in that when he really broke it down, and when it kind of just went to a cappella and he tightened up the rhythm on the rap and he's kind of like, you know, moving, blocking, fighting, that I was kind of lost in that for a moment there. That was a moment where I was truly sucked into the story and truly like forgot I was doing a reaction video for a little while, you know what I mean? Going back to my first point when I paused it here, this sounds like high Ren, what he's gone into, or at least some kind of variation on those chords. So I wondered, does this lead into high Ren? Let's find out.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, She was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005, a lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins are lying side by side. A girl named Jenny and a boy named Screech.
Once again, I'm a little affected by this. I'm kind of lost for words a bit, and I'd quite like to sort of continue this discussion in the comments rather than try and convey everything over here. I'd like to get some feedback from you guys insofar as what are your kind of breakdowns on it yourself? Like, what do you think all of this means? What does Jenny represent? What does Screech represent? What does Violet represent? What's it all about? What's the overarching like meaning of all this? Is there something higher? Is it just take it as it comes? It's just 3 stories, you know, just 3 like life stories, that are cautionary tales, you know? What do you think about this? And I'd like to kind of get a chat going in the comments to kind of kick some ideas around and just hear some different interpretations of it. Because I feel like I could kind of sit here now and try and break down all different meanings, but I could just be kind of running around in circles, and I'm a little bit dumbfounded. I'm a little bit like, whew. Musically, the guitar playing has really blown me away. I love the kind of Renaissance kind of classical and the Spanishy kind of flavors in there, the Jamaican influence. It's really covered a broad range of things, but it's been kept very cohesive. Again, he's demonstrated his musical style wonderfully with his rapping and his singing. And yeah, just more than anything, more than the guitar playing, more than the vocal ability, it's the storytelling to me that's the thing that really, really stands out as being something unique and what makes this artist very special. Please subscribe for more content. I'm going to be doing a lot more Ren reaction videos. Please post in the comments what you'd like me to do next. Can I request from your requests that the next Ren reaction I do be something a little bit lighter, just for me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm down for more heavy stuff, for sure. Not afraid to get into it, you know what I mean? But like, I could do with something just a little bit more upbeat next time, and then jump back into the heavier stuff again. Yeah, and if you have any requests for any other artists as well, I'm going to be doing loads of reaction videos in this new year. I'm going to keep them coming, and it won't just be Ren, it'll be all kinds of artists, so put your suggestions in. And also, if you have any suggestions of how to get around copyright issues with other artists, something I love about Ren that was pointed out to me in my first video is that he lets reactors do reactions without like demonetizing them or taking them down or anything like that, which is a very clever thing to do to get your music out there. Like, bravo to him. He's a smart guy, isn't he? But if you know of more artists that do that, or if you know of the best ways to kind of get around it generally, that would be interesting, because I'm right at the beginning of my reactor journey and I'm going to be transparent with you, you know what I mean? I am happy to receive any advice, any ideas, and you know, any ways like I can improve these videos, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So until next time, that was the tale of Jenny and Screech. Thank you so much. Please comment, subscribe, like, share to anybody who you think would enjoy this video, and have a great day, everybody. Peace.